僕の超楽しいパロキャストコメディのベスト男ルーレット男目視録奥のビリーを飲むどれ僕のパロキャスト
純正なビールを私に提供する。
人権ですが
今すぐ
Hello and welcome to Nerds on Tap podcast. This is the show where we drink like nerds and we talk about random things. My name is Chris.
I'm Jim.
I'm Joseph.
And there's nothing different about this episode whatsoever. Let's move on. No. So with us is funny dude Adam Lash. Introduce yourself, Adam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Adam.
Is Lash your real last name or is it like a stage name?
No, that's real.
How did you luck out with that? That's awesome.
My dad comes from a cool family, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I didn't realize how awesome my name was until like I was in my mid-20s. And I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing last name. I'm like,
Sounds like a porn star or a professional wrestler.
or an eye doctor.
Some kind of action hero. Like if I ever made a comic book, I would have Adam Lash as one of my characters.
That's all. Yeah, exactly. I want a cool ass name.
The Secret Files of Adam Lash.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be Chris Explosion from now on. That's my name.
That's a porn star name. What are you talking about? Name.
Welcome to Nerds on Tap. I'm Chris Explosion.
We all need to have awesome last names from now on.
Yes, we need awesome last names. What would your last name be, Joseph?
You go first, Jim. You're next.
What? Why?
Because
You
you're
need a
second.
cool last name.
You're second in line on the template.
Why? Well, I was just thinking about the whole porn name game. I'm derailing this.
Why wouldn't you?
But like where you take like your middle name and then a street that you grew up on. I'd be Paul Paradise. How amazing is that?
That's pretty good.
I like it.
Or Paul Arch Street, which wouldn't work very well.
Paul Arch Street. I would be Joseph Seven Gables if I grew up. If it was a street name.
What the fuck?
It's like a porn star that specializes in like doing the elderly.
Oh shit.
Mine would suck. If we went by those rules, I'd be just Chris West First Street. This is not very cool.
You sound like a bank. I'll make a deposit.
That could be a porn. I need to make a deposit.
Yeah. Has there ever been a porn in the bank? If
It
not,
has to have been.
there's
There's been a
gotta be.
porn everywhere. Come on.
I just scrolling through Pornhub like I've never seen bank in the titles.
Now I'm gonna one of the tags.
Yeah.
You need
I'm
to
gonna
be
go-
on Fix
I'm-
Hamster.
I want to know. I want to know now if there's like DMV, like all those mundane places nobody likes to go.
God. H&R.
The look on Adam's face is amazing. Hey Adam. So
This is the podcast.
yeah, we're on a podcast. We have you on the show for a reason. Usually we ask people when they're on the show, we're all nerds. What makes you a nerd?
Exactly.
Oh, geez. Well, born and raised a nerd. I grew up watching Star Wars and then found Next Generation when I was 7, so watched all of those in real time. Thank you very much for that. Cried like a bitch during Phantom Menace because my ruined. Tried very hard to explain to people why Attack of the Clones was really good for a week until it dawned on me that it wasn't.
Dude, I saw that movie like 4 times in the theaters. It took me like the 4th or I think it was even 5 times. It took me like the 5th time to be like, eh.
Yeah. I read all of the Star Wars EU books that were published in the 90s.
For the ones that don't count anymore.
And now
I know it. That kind of part of me is happy because like towards the end of it, like I read past the Vong War and stuff, and I was like, okay, now it feels like it's jumping the shark, and this isn't really fun anymore. All right. What else? Love Doctor Who. I have watched most of the 80s and 90s cartoons that people should have grown out of, but I didn't. Giant fan of Power Rangers.
Yes.
Nice.
Unashamed to say that. Loved that recent thing from a couple weeks ago.
That is awesome.
That came out. That was demented and very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm a nerd through and through.
I like it.
All right, I'm glad we have you on the show then.
Yay.
You belong here.
Let's get into our drinks, and then we're gonna come back and probably talk to Adam some more, or we'll just ignore him the rest of the podcast. Whatever, whatever's funnier, we'll just pretend it's not there.
That's the key. Whatever's funnier.
You tell us, Adam.
I'm gonna start. So right now I am drinking Summit Brewing Great Northern Porter. There's a label. It's brewed in St. Paul, Minnesota. So only a couple hours away from here. Summit's a big brewing company up here. They have a lot of different beers. So I got the Northern Porter right now. It's very dark, very brown. Not a lot of head to it when it pours, but it's really good. It's very it tastes thick, and it's definitely one of those ones that fills you up. So
Everything you said could be taken so wrong. Thick, dark head.
Chris
Fills me up.
Explosion.
Chris Explosion.
His next film, Thick Dark Head.
It's still, that's a better title than Drip on Me, which is a real porn title that I saw one time.
Sad.
It was right next to Big Wet Butts 4. And I wondered
Which is what you were trying to watch.
if there's 4 of them. I want to see I got to see the first 3 first, right? I mean,
Continuity. You got to make sure you know what the story is going into it.
Exactly.
right. Otherwise, it's like, I want to know the motivation behind these big wet butts.
You want to be able to see the growth of each character throughout each movie. So
Growth. Hey, you're drinking something right now, Joseph. What do you got there, buddy?
Mine is actually Castaway Indian Pale Ale, and it is from Hawaii.
I've had that.
What?
You've had it?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's kind of hoppy though. I mean, it's a pale ale, so of course.
Yeah.
But it's the malt in it kind of overpowers that. A little citrusy, maybe flowery, I don't know, but it's really like yellowy piss like, so and Firestorm. So
Nice.
yeah.
So it's gonna look like the same in about 20 minutes when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same.
Mhm.
Jim, what about you?
Even though that last American Sky I had on the show I didn't particularly care for, I had one more I wanted to try. This is kind of their basic. It's called Amber Salute. It's kind of more of your, just regular amber beer. It's actually pretty good. Like it's like
What the fuck just happened?
Really high up there.
Holy shit!
You have some range in your voice. No, that's a good thing.
Is there helium in that
tease him.
beer? What the
thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, no, it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's an amber, ale, but it's got a lot of body to it. Like there's a lot of flavor there instead of just being like, eh. And I'm drinking it in my new Stormtrooper glass that I got today. I'm just glad that this isn't a shot glass because it probably would miss my mouth.
I'm just gonna point out that is not Jar Jar Binks, so I don't care.
Get it? Because if it's a shot glass and it's a Stormtrooper, shut up, everyone. Fuck you.
We get it. Stormtroopers never hit anything. Yes, we get
I
it.
hate all of you.
That was the joke that you prepared for that one?
Fuck off.
Yeah. He spent a good 5 minutes on that.
No, he told us he had a joke ready.
It was like 3. And this funny, I knew that telling you I had a joke ready would have made this more awkward, which is more funny for everyone else, so you're welcome.
Okay, so that's your ultimate joke, is making fun of your joke.
It's like a meta thing
Yeah.
piled on each other.
All right. Kudos.
Adam,
that was great.
Adam, I saw you with a jug of water. How's that water going?
Or was that milk?
It was milk at one time, and now it is water, and it was delicious.
Who brewed that water? Where's that?
The New York Water Distillery.
That just because like most everything that reminds me of Parks and Rec, where the guy's like he's trying to sell home brewed water. It's like, no, you can't sell your home brewed water. And again, I do not want to try it.
Nice. So, Mr. Adam Lash, if I can call you
Yes.
Mr. Adam Lash.
It's good. Just Adam's fine.
But I like the last name.
So, Senor Lash.
Senor Lash. So you do all kinds of comedy and nerdy comedy related things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you're working on?
Okay, well, the main one that I'm working on right now is called Gigahoes. It is a mockumentary about sex robots in the future. Joe knows a little bit about that. Actually, this was not planned. I was at work, and we made T-shirts.
Nice.
I'm wearing the T-shirt, so shameless self-promotion.
Sweet.
The thing. It's
Quick,
about,
everyone show your chest.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. Space. Oh, cool. Space time. Thing.
I knocked over
Yeah,
the
it's
microphone.
Oh, evolved. Nice. There we go. See, we're all wearing nerdy shirts. Mine just happens to be really, really indie, and no one knows about it yet.
Yeah, but yours is a lot cooler than all of ours, so
Oh, thanks.
I caught up.
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah. So Gigahoes. It's right now. Season 1 just finished in January. It's a 12-episode series right now. Focuses on the robot escorts of the escort agency Artificial Intercourse as they go around future New York City servicing their clients in many hilarious ways. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We shot it last summer. It turned out really well. We're entering it into some festivals and stuff like that, trying to keep the project going. We are writing season 2 right now. We're also trying to write a pilot for the New York TV Pilot Festival. It's going to come up this fall. So we have plans for it. We'd really like this show to be on actual television because it's a big, grandiose idea that is worthy, I believe, of some type of cable network. Definitely not one of the major normal channels like NBC or something like that. It would never play. But like Netflix, HBO, FX, something like that would totally work.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of fun. And yeah, we had a great time. And I get naked in it. So
You're naked a lot in it.
yeah, people who might want to see me naked. I don't know.
Because you
yes,
are one of the sex
We're all
bots.
here. So.
Yes, I play one of the sex bots.
That's a bold choice. Like if you're writing your own show, like I'm gonna be one of the robots that does people. I don't know if that'd be my choice.
Well, cool. I worked out 2 years beforehand getting ready for it, so
Nice.
I was well prepared.
And did you ever, in those 2 years during your workouts, did you ever see yourself giving head to a man in a car in public?
No.
What about so in the first episode, there's a really well placed carrot. How did that feel for the first time having a carrot? Unless that isn't the first time there's been a carrot in there.
But I would say you would write from what you know, right? Just from full
Exactly. It was not a whole carrot in my butt.
That's probably good.
Yeah. But it wasn't not exactly no carrot in my butt. Just to help hold on to the roughage in the back there. Yeah.
So anything for comedy is the.
That's honestly how. Okay, so there was a few days where I had to be basically naked on set just because of what we were shooting, and after, working out for a couple years and starting to feel really good about myself, I was told that I was a little too confident in myself because I was kind of gallivanting around the set. Just don't worry about me. I'm just in a cocksock, everybody, but it's fine. Look at this body. It's amazing. Because what we were doing was for comedy, and I had basically the comedy armor on. So we weren't being serious. So none of this really matters because it's all for a joke. So enjoy the show, everybody. Yeah. It was serious. If I actually had to shoot a serious love scene like they do in movies and stuff, I probably would have been a lot more self-conscious and weird about it. But since it was for comedy, anything goes.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard a similar story for behind the scenes for Firefly for when Nathan was naked for one of the episodes. I guess they could not get him to get his clothes back on, and it was the same thing where he's just like, prepared for this, and he just thought it was funny to put his leg up on shit and make people uncomfortable and
like
stuff.
the garbage episode.
Yeah.
Yes, I was pulled aside afterwards
saying, "Yeah, you did make a few people like our new director, who we've known for like a week at that point. Like he saw my starfish a few times, just because I'm like, everyone's having fun, right? Look at my butthole, look at my butthole. Because I was on my hands and knees at one point. I had to be there, but I was just kind of like showing it off a little bit, shaking my tail feathers. Yes, yes. It was all in fun.
Bravo. Congratulations.
So Gigahoes is awesome. It's online right now on YouTube. Easily defined. Just type in Gigahoes.
We're safe for work.
No, do not
safe for work.
Or at work, if you are in your own office and they can't track what you're watching. It's on YouTube, so it's not horrible, but a lot of sexual situations, a lot of adult themes, all played for laughs though, so it's not like raunchy or crude. But yeah, you probably have like a prude or something in the office who wouldn't get it and probably complain to HR. So I would recommend not watching it at work.
Which is exactly what me and Joseph did.
Yeah, to catch up today, I would recommend turning your back to a wall if possible and watching your phone and then looking at everybody suspiciously as they pass by, making sure they don't suspect anything, because that's kind of what I did. That's how I spent lunchtime.
I would recommend having a mirror like in front of you if the door's to your back, like mine, so you can kind of see if someone's walking by, because I don't have one and I'm just like turning my head every 5 seconds, like waiting for someone to just walk by. So I looked out and it only happened once and I was safe. So, yes.
Especially the particular episode that you mentioned earlier, Chris.
When they walked by, it was the dick fight or the cock fight. So they're yelling cock fight.
Yeah.
The two dildos slapping each other. And then slapping Adam in the face.
Yeah.
So
my mom hates that episode. That was the last thing we shot the whole season. That was the last shot we had, and it was the one I was most looking forward to because I knew it was going to be it was going to be hilarious. Of just having these dicks in my face, but I knew it hurt actually. I got popped in the eye during one take, and those are serious dildos. Those things are not to be messed around with. Those are heavy. They are heavy in your hand. It's ridiculous.
But like a bruise in the shape of a mushroom on your cheek.
A little bit. Like there was one take we didn't use it, but you could see me go ow, like right in the middle of it because they were just whipping with their hips back and forth. They were serious. They were really having a duel with their fake cocks.
It's a real cock fight. That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. It's a really funny show. So if you haven't seen it, definitely get out there and watch it. Like he said, it's on YouTube. And when is you might have mentioned it on here already. I don't remember if we were recording yet, but when is season 2?
Well, yes, we are trying to figure that out. We have to write it right now. There's just some timing issues. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of how much time it's gonna take us to write, Kickstarter, and then film. So right now, the way it's looking, we have to write the second season, plus we're writing the pilot for the competitions and stuff. So we're doing lots of stuff at the same time. It probably won't be until the beginning of next year, just because, if we had like a full production company, we could like bust this stuff out, no problem, get it ready for fall this year. But since it's just like a handful of us, right, it probably won't be until the beginning of next year. But we'll be making videos and Kickstarter stuff. So we'll be around. We're doing lots of stuff. Plus, I'm making lots of smaller videos and other projects between now and when Gigahoes comes out, just to kind of like, hey, we're still doing things. Did you like this video? Hey, watch Gigahoes. Cool. Just because that's how you have to do things nowadays. You just can't like take a break for
people forget about you.
Yeah, they forget about you immediately. So you got
because it's the internet, and you're going to be like, I'm here.
Exactly. You
got to slap him in the face with it, just over and over.
With two of them at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
So, yeah, I'll be having lots of more cool stuff coming out before Gigahoes comes out.
Sweet.
Just to kind of fill in that gap to remind everybody that, hey, funny things still happening. So, yeah.
And you do stand-up too, right?
Yes, when I have the time, which is not very often right now, between working on Gigahoes, I also do the warm-up for the Bayside musical, which is the Saved by the Bell musical that's going on here in New York City.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super awesome. We have gone, 230
30 shows at this point, and it got extended, or it will be extended. And this is kind of insider information. So don't tell anybody you heard this from me.
It's okay. We don't have any listeners, so
Good. But I think it's getting extended through the fall. So it's probably, if anyone lives in the New York City area, you have plenty of chances to come see Saved by the Bell, the musical. It's very funny. So we're doing that too. That's a couple nights a week. And I have my own podcast. That's called the Movie Preview Review. With my friend Kevin Bartini, who's the warm-up comic for The Nightly Show, and will probably be the warm-up guy for Colbert's show, I guess Colbert's version of The Late Show, when that comes out in the fall.
Awesome.
And we have our friend Jay, and Kevin's wife, Jessica, is also on the show. Plus we have one of our comic friends come in. We've had guys from Last Week Tonight, and we had Frank Conniff from Mystery Science Theater 3000. He was one of the
nice
artists. Yeah, come on. Now it's kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, honestly. We just we watch a preview, and then it comes back to us, and we just either rip it apart or support it, or basically just make fun of each other and make bits and jokes and just improv off things. It's just, it's comics being funny and making fun of each other, basically.
Yeah,
with movies.
It's all in the title. I mean, it's a review of previews, and I've listened to 3 episodes of it. I did hear the one you were just talking about with the guy from Mystery Science Theater, and that one was awesome. And so far, it's been really funny. That's where I heard about the thing that I was asking you to tell earlier, because that led me back to that other show, so I had to listen to that. We don't have to talk about it now because I know it's kind of a lengthy story, but eventually you have to tell it.
That's a good length to it. Sure, I'll tell you guys at the end. Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
I said we could just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and tell it.
No, if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you an edit point just in case we want to put this at the end, just if it doesn't ruin flow. But okay. So this all started many years ago, about almost 20 years ago at this point. So you know how you guys learned how to masturbate when you were 10, 11, or 12, something in around that time, which is good for you. I didn't learn about masturbation until I was 17, which I know that's late.
Sad.
It was. It was very sad because I didn't even learn about it. My friend told me about it. If you do this to your penis, it feels pretty good. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's no, go home, take a shower, little shampoo, the thing, and then just trust me, it's amazing. I said, okay, fine. Go home. This is right before dinner, by the way. Go home. Say, I'm dirty. We can take a shower. Jump in the shower. Do as instructed. Inside of 2 seconds, my body's and I fall to the ground. Just a really hard thud. And I'm just out of it. My mom comes running upstairs Adam, honey, is everything okay? I was like, oh, everything's fine. I was like, oh shit, I have to do this as much as possible now.
Minus the head injury.
Yeah, well, I took 3 showers that night. So, yeah. So anyways, I start trying to catch up on lost time and just do it constantly everywhere I can think of, or in private, but just trying to get around. So that goes on for a couple months. And so eventually I got to figure out what to do with the evidence of said act, because I was only told just do this and it feels good, never about the aftermath of what to do.
There's other stuff you got to worry about, and you're like, what do I do with it?
Exactly. So my first thought was that I would use a Dixie cup, that was not a smart idea. That was just dumb. That was something that's not funny. It's not. But that was wrong. But I never thought of tissues for whatever reason. Never thought of that. But I figured that a hand towel would be great because that's what it cleans up mess. It's absorbent and it's all sorts of good stuff. So I grabbed this white hand towel from the bathroom and then quickly discovered, I think it took about a week and a half, that sperm can change white fluffy things
into rock hard cardboard.
Yeah, you basically can crack it in half afterward.
And I did a couple times. It was so I'm like, oh god, this is a mistake. But how do I hide this? I don't know. What I started to do was I would stalk my mom when she was doing the laundry and just hide out right behind the in like a corner. And then when she put the laundry in and went away, I would run and throw the towel in and run back, and then like no one was ever the wiser because and then retake the towel and start the process all over again. I did that twice. It got to the point where my mom was a teacher at the local community college, and so she said, I don't have enough time to clean up the house, and I want a maid. And the rest of the family was like, well, we don't really need a maid. I mean, we don't need you to clean the house. It's nice. We're done. We think everything's fine. She's like, no. I want a maid. I was like, okay, fine. So I said, but can you just please, whatever you do, don't let her clean my room. Because my computer is in there and all my comic books and stuff. And I'll clean my room. It's fine. I'll just let me clean it. If you want, I'll clean it. Just don't let her be in there. Because under my bed was the evidence. And if you see this giant, brown piece of cardboard that's folded like a tent, and this, from my best friend's house, I stole like this giant vat of Vaseline.
Oh God!
Just like they'll never know it's missing. I'm just gonna take this because that's the level. That was the level of addiction I was at. I was stealing things to maintain the habit.
When you got it pent up for that long, you don't realize until it's just like
years.
Yeah,
years. I was like on backlog, just getting.
Do this forever.
So there was no way she wouldn't understand what was going on. So I was like, please don't let her clean my room. I'll do it. I don't want her to know. So the first day that this lady was supposed to be at our house, my sister and I get home. She's gone. I race up to my room, dive under my bed, and everything's missing. It's like, oh shit, oh my God, where's the stuff? I start running around the house. The towel is at the top of my mom's laundry hamper. Like if you opened it up, just congealed jizz in towel form is right there.
Oh,
like there's no way she wouldn't know. So I grab that, stuff it under my shirt, and like start looking for the giant vat of Vaseline. It's under my mom's sink. This giant vat of Vaseline with a big old hole right down the center. Giant hole, right guys? Under my mom's sink. So I grab that, throw everything back under my bed, and then start freaking the fuck out because this woman knows, right? There's no way she doesn't know what's happening. And she's going to tell my mom. Because why wouldn't? Because I'm doing something wrong. I was raised Catholic. I don't know if anyone else was raised Catholic. Well, then you guys don't know the full weight of... I didn't even believe it from the beginning. But still, I got enough guilt about it. I knew something was I was doing something wrong. My mom may not love me anymore for doing this.
You're making your body the devil's playground.
Yeah, exactly. I was never specifically told don't touch yourself because it's bad. But I just somehow knew they wouldn't like this.
Inherent guilt of making Satan come out of your penis.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's horrible. So yes. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm scared to death that this woman is going to tell my mom that I'm touching myself and that my mom will then not love me anymore. So I'm acting kind of freaked out and weird. Of course I didn't stop doing it, but I'm like, oh God, when's the other shoe going to drop? Because I know it's going to. What's going to happen? So 2 weeks go by. My mom never confronts me about anything. And so this woman was scheduled to be at our house again. My sister and I come back from high school. And this woman's car is still outside. Now, she was not supposed to be there when we got home, safety reasons or whatever, I don't know. So I walk into the house, I call out her name. I don't remember her name at this point, but I call out her name. Hey, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? My sister goes upstairs to do whatever. And so I walk into the living room, and I look over, and out of the corner of my eye, I see 2 feet just kind of sticking up behind a chair, kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West. From Wizard of Oz. And I was like, okay, That's the cleaning lady. I have a decision to make. Because I had to leave. I had a calculus tutor session that I had to go to. So I was like in and out. So I was just trying to figure out where this lady was. It's like, okay, what do I do? Do I call an ambulance, go over to her, tend to her, call the ambulance, save this woman's life? Or do I leave for my calculus tutor session and let this woman die, taking my secret to the grave? So I left. I left secure in the knowledge that my mom, when I got back, would still love me, that was the deciding factor. Save this woman's life and lose my mother's love. Go to the tutor session, still have my mom love me. So I left. Clean conscious. Didn't even give it a thought. I just drove to the thing.
Well, that's taken care of.
Yeah. Problem solved. Everybody's fine. And everything's coming up, Lash. So I get back from an hour later from the tutor. I show up. There's an ambulance outside my house. I see my sister wrapped in a blanket in the arms of a neighbor.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because my sister found her. Freaked out. Got to a neighbor. They called an ambulance. They came. It turns out she was diabetic and did not take her insulin, so she was in a diabetic, not coma. She was around, but like she fainted because of the blood sugar levels.
Diabetic nap. We'll go with
yes. Oh, she's just napping. She's just taking a little break. Cleaning really hard. So I come back. They're wheeling her out as I'm coming in, and I'm looking at her like, oh, that's a shame. And she never came back. And she never told my mom, because my mom still loves me. So it all worked out in the end.
Until your mom sees this episode.
Here's the thing. I've told this story twice now. It will eventually be a bit on stage that I do. I don't know whether, because this was a giant story in my sister's life. She found basically a dead body in her. But it's been 20 years, right? Like the statutes of limitations have passed, right? I would think at this point.
On traumatizing experiences, yes.
Yeah, it should be funny by now.
I would think that enough time, like I've always thought it was funny. Like as soon as it was like, I'm going to be a comic, and I was writing down like things that are funny that happened in my past. And I was like, this was one of the first things I ever wrote down. Yeah. But I was never good enough at the beginning to tell the story or work it, and be able to tell it on stage until very recently. So I was like, do I go warn my family ahead of time that, hey, there's this new bit I have that retcons history a little bit. So it turns out I chose love over a woman's life. And I apologize, sister, for traumatizing you. If you are traumatized, you don't seem like you are. You have a couple kids now. You seem like a normal adult. Doesn't seem like you have any PTSD around this. But I'm sorry that I did that. So,
I thought when you found her and you had a choice, I thought you're like, do I help her or do I have time to go upstairs and touch myself before a calculus?
Wow. Wow. No.
There's nobody.
It sounds like everybody won in this story, though. She's still alive, I'm assuming, and.
Well, I would think.
How old was she?
She was alive the last time I saw her, officer. That's all I know.
But I had heard that story because Kevin had said it was his favorite story, and you couldn't tell it on that show. So I was like, okay, I got to trace back because I have to hear this story. Yes. And I'm so glad that I listened to it because I was cracking up again at work where I probably shouldn't be listening to these things. But
that is not a safe for work story at all.
Luckily, headphones. But it was really funny. So I had to get these guys to hear it.
I like it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Story.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's all tell masturbation jokes. This one, no, I'm just kidding.
So this one time I had my dick in my hand. Let's do the nerd roulette. Are you guys ready to do the roulette?
Let's do that.
do it.
All right, all right. Let me cue this thing up and cue whatever noise I feel like throwing in. Give it a second.
Police sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're in New York.
They just heard his story and they're coming to get him because that lady died. And all right, our topic today is who are your nerd heroes?
Oh.
I think everyone could probably talk to this one, so fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
This is general
Okay.
enough.
Who wants to go first? Who's got one right off the bat? Anyone?
Now, how generally are we speaking? Are we talking nerd heroes like it has to be like a real life nerd in existence who is our hero, or are we going into comic nerds or what?
I would say, well, I wouldn't say like not like a favorite superhero or something like that, but somebody that like maybe a nerd that inspires or influences you in some kind of way or something like that.
Like a nerd creator.
There we go. That would probably work. I mean, anyone involved in like nerd community or that had any kind of inspiration on you or something.
I'm going to say the first thing that pops in my head is Bruce Timm, artist for Batman Animated Series, Justice League, etc., etc. That art is what I grew up with, so it inspired me in part to be an artist and just really helped me to see how great the animations can be, and just his style of animation, it's kind of stuck with me. That's what I see Batman as now, and that's what I see Superman as now. Those just strangely shaped but like really well-drawn figures, and jumping off of that with Kevin Conroy as that Batman, like that is my ideal Batman. Yeah. So I mean, that's just the first thing that pops into my head. Yeah.
That's a good one.
He's going to be at Wizard World Minneapolis.
He is, yes.
And I am so excited.
We will definitely go meet him.
Which one, Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
His line, I'm going to warn you, is going to be so long because every time he's in Texas, I never get to see him because I'm not willing to wait an hour in line or more.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I would do it. I'll wait.
Yeah, his animation style, not only was it was stylized and it's easily recognizable, but it's also, I don't want to say easily copied, but you know, when they animate those shows, I don't know, most of them are animated overseas, and a lot of the time those designs have to be pretty like straightforward and easily to able for anyone to be able to kind of emulate in a way. And that's what I think that makes those designs so well, because not only is it like, you know exactly, oh, that's a Bruce Timm, you know, designed character, but it's also, it's why the animation was so well done, because you could easily do it. It was all straight lines and elegant, you know, simple kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They did, with the animated one, they did it like a different way, right? Like they started with like really dark paper and then added color on top of that, right? To get the show so dark. I think that's what I heard.
I think that's what they did on Batman, yeah. They started with the dark paper, at least for the intro part of it, I know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they did it for everything or if it was just for the intro, but
yeah, I don't
either
know
way,
for sure.
everything they did looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that Batman animated series intro is like the best Batman anything ever. It's just so dead on perfect.
Well, it's also, it was good synergy using the music from the movie at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how I first saw the movie, and then, you know, that was a little young or maybe a little naive to get all of it.
Right.
You know, got the music, got the Joker, got the important things.
All the high notes. You get all the high notes. You don't really get all the subtle stuff.
Right. But then when the cartoon comes out, and right after school, and it's like, wait, that's the same song. Oh, is this Batman? Oh God, I'm gonna watch this forever. It was the greatest cartoon ever made. Ever.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hands down.
No arguments.
For sure.
Good.
Who else? Anyone else have another one? Adam, do you have a nerd hero?
Well, I got a couple. I'm thinking about it. I mean, not when I was growing up, because when I was a kid, it just kind of like I didn't know the people behind things. It was just like stuff that I like. Okay, I don't know who's making it, but good, and I want more. But looking back on it now, and like being an adult, and being a creator myself, Joss Whedon.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
and looking back at all the things he did, that influenced my childhood before I even knew who he was.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and the fact that he's been able to make a career and like do all these really pushing the boundaries, being this nerd in Hollywood before it was super cool being a nerd in Hollywood, and succeeding by his own grit and determination.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. And now he's helming fucking the Avengers, and it's oh god. So he went from like, I can do it. Like, look at this cool, funny idea I got. It's vampire slayers or hot girls. It's really funny, and and it's a good story. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And now
we got the hot girl part, so we'll put it on. We don't give a shit about anything else, but we'll see what happens.
And then 20 years later, he's in charge of a $1 billion franchise.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And it seemed like he just stayed true to himself the entire time. I just want to be a storyteller. And in every medium he's done. Even his run on the X-Men was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously Buffy.
Yeah. Astonishing is one of my favorite X-Men runs.
So, yeah, he's great.
It says a lot, too, that, Buffy started how many years ago, and they're still continuing that same story through comics now. So, it's still like the same storyline. It's got the same history and everything like that. So these characters, even after the show's been over for how many years, are still part of today's pop culture. It's just been continuing that long. So, who would have thought? That's crazy.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things he did was his first comic that he did was Frey, which was...
Yes.
It was you didn't know it was part of the Buffyverse, and then he like throws it at you. You're like, hey, by the way, she's a Slayer in the future. These are actually vampires, and you're like, holy shit! And that shit just ended up being one of my favorite comic books. Period.
Yeah, it's great. I actually just read that like a few months ago because I think my wife had read it a long time ago, and I read it a long time ago before I ever saw any Buffy stuff. So I didn't really get it, and I'm like, oh,
you probably read my copy of the.
I think I did. And then
I know it was downstairs when you lived down here. So
yeah, and then when we've watched everything since then. And then one day she was just like, I was browsing through some comics at our library, and she's like, we gotta find Frey. So we ordered it, and man, yeah, it's just amazing. It was done so well. I think the best thing about Joss that I like is not only his character development, but the dialogue is just unparalleled. Nobody can touch his dialogue. It's just amazing. So,
and Shaddai, you all know Shaddai. She would say, she would go back to Joss Whedon. Also wrote a few episodes of Roseanne.
That's right. Yeah, he wrote a lot.
So he started there, which it was a great show. For what it was, and now he's here with the Avengers movies, like you're saying. He's headliner now, starting at Roseanne, or I don't know if that's where he started, but that's some of his earlier stuff.
Yeah, that's where he was cutting his teeth beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually just talking about that today.
Oh.
That's where Joss was getting his starting. His start was at Roseanne. Yeah.
Yeah, so. And back in the day, then too, he kind of snubbed his nose at television writing because his father was a television writer, and he was like, "I'm a real artist," kind of a thing, and then. I guess part of the reason is because Roseanne picked him out because she wanted more strong women, and she always was trying to get strong women characters in her show and stuff. So, and she recognized that in him, so he could get behind it. And that's kind of how he got into the TV writing business. And then he kind of started feeling out. He's like, oh, maybe there is something I can do here that is, I can maybe put down my guard a little bit and start doing it. So, yeah, when it was announced that he was doing Avengers, my first reaction was, finally, he's getting the recognition that he's been working for this long time. I was like, you know what? It's going to be amazing because he's going to do Avengers. It's going to be amazing. And then he's going to have a blank check. Like, he's going to be able to do whatever he wants, and it's going to be astounding. So,
which he pretty much can. Like, I think he could pitch anything now, and like everyone's just going to be like, yeah, sure, take my money. I don't care. Just do it.
He's going to go from Fox being like, we don't understand why there's cowboys in space, or no, we don't want to make your Wonder Woman movie. You know, him clawing, and now it's just I know, fuck, it's like. Why would you not let him make whatever he wanted with Wonder Woman? And you know DC is kicking themselves in the ass now. Yep. I mean, you've got to be just...
I'm sure when Wonder Woman comes out in, was it 2 years?
Yeah, I think 2.
No matter how the movie is received or what's actually in the movie, I'm sure many of us will be like, I wonder if Joss's version was better. Wait, that's a dumb question.
Yes. You know it was.
So,
absolutely.
Warner Brothers had him in his hands, and they went, dumbass. I hope someone must have gotten fired over that. There's no way that someone along the line, they went, you know what? You need to go, because that was a bad call.
That's what sucks is everyone underestimated him so much, and especially, and obviously we've got like Firefly is the prime example of that it got canceled so quick, and now it's probably like the biggest like cult TV show like out there. I mean, anyone in the nerd or geek sphere, I mean, if you mention Joss Whedon, they're like, oh, fucking Firefly, yes.
Yeah. You know what though? That enthusiasm sometimes turns people off. I can see that. You get people that they haven't seen it and they go, oh, you like this, this, and this? Well, you have to see it. You have to see it. You have to see it. It always makes it to where they're just like, well, now I don't want to, because if you're harping on me like I have to do it,
right?
Maybe, I don't know. It turns people off. And actually, the person that I know is just now starting to watch Firefly is actually my nerd hero that I was going to talk about. So we're going to segue right into there. Yeah, He's watching Firefly now, finally, and he was the kind of person that, because everyone was like, you haven't seen Firefly? What? You, who loves this and this? And it got annoying to him, so he just was like, I'm just not going to watch it. It made him not want to watch it more. And I've talked to him on the show. He actually made a cameo on the show as the lawyer for our fake Ghostbusters sponsor, but it's my cousin... My cousin Ed Simeon Kovitz is a huge nerd hero to me. Now, obviously, he's related to me. He's technically my dad's cousin, so he's like my second cousin. But I met him at a time in my life where, obviously, I was like 10, maybe I was like 7. Oh God, how old? I must have been like between the ages of 7 and 10.
Hang on, let's get out the yearbook and.
I don't care. But back then, we were in an area where being a nerd was cool. Like, nerds still weren't where they are now, obviously. So I was an awkward, middle school kid. And it got to the point where I kind of wouldn't let people know that I was into, like, kind of nerdy stuff. And, And then I met him, and he's like 20 years older than me. And this was a cool guy. He was like he just alluded, everyone liked him. All my family members had nothing but good things to say about him. He was always bringing hot girlfriends to family functions and stuff. And I was, shit, man, that guy is cool. And he actually gave me the time of day. Like, he saw himself in me, and he kind of ushered up my confidence to be like, you know what, I do, because his thing is Star Wars and old Star Wars figures, and he has this huge collection of vintage Star Wars stuff. He actually does a podcast called Voice of the Republic. They're on hiatus now, but they're going to come back for a little bit. So he's like the Star Wars guy, and he showed me that you can be really super, super into like nerd stuff and still be a functioning person that people want to talk to and stuff. So he instilled a lot of confidence into me as growing up, and he was a huge, huge influence. And he's also an amazing artist. He does comic work. He did art design for a mobile game. He's just an amazing artist, and I hope all the best for him. He's going through some hard times right now with his health, but seriously, he's probably one of my biggest inspirations for who I am today. So
cool. I appreciate it.
It's great.
I've got kind of got two, so I won't spend a whole lot of time, so I can just get through both of them real quick. But I'll start with a more obscure one, which is Chris Metzen, who is kind of like head of creative development for Blizzard Entertainment, so StarCraft, Warcraft, all that stuff. The reason is because he pretty much is like the brain that is kind of behind all the story, the lore, everything like that. A lot of the characters, stuff like that, and it's just it's a hugely vast, complicated universe, even just with Warcraft alone. And I mean, that's just one of like,
Yeah.
3 big properties that they've got. And just the stories that this guy comes up with and the characters that he develops are just, it's just out of this world, some of the stuff that he can do. And on top of that, he's also a comic book writer too. He does a lot of Transformers and stuff like that. And all of his stuff is just amazing. He's written a couple books. So he's just very saturated in the creation of like nerdy stories and things like that, and probably doesn't get a lot of credit. A lot of people probably don't know much about him unless you're like a WoW fan or something like that. But yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for him and really envy his ability to create so many intricate stories and stuff like that. So speaking of that, so that kind of leads me into my second person, which would be another great character developer, which would be Stan Lee.
No.
And that's probably like one of everyone's like favorite.
He's like everyone's grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he created like, I mean, how many of Marvel's characters? I mean, some of them he had help with, but I mean, he had his hand in just about anything, any Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, everything like that. And obviously there are characters that, I mean, they started like 50 something years ago and now are still here, and they're more popular now than probably ever. So I mean, some of that goes to show that the writers and stuff like that have helped with those properties since then, I mean, have a lot to do with that. But I mean, it all comes back to the original stories. I mean, we're still seeing origin stories with some of these characters in the movies now. So
and over.
Right. I mean, they were that epic and that mesmerizing that there's still such a huge impact on our culture. And you go to places like, Comic-Con or anything like that, and the majority of people you see there dressed up are going to be like a lot of his characters, which is just absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I'm definitely very influenced by people that can create good, not just like heroes, even villains, but I mean just people in general, like characters in general, and then come up with just really awesome stories to tell about them. So
my favorite thing about Stan Lee too is when you hear him tell stories about when he was developing those characters.
Yeah.
It'd be like the dumbest, like, oh, I saw a spider on the wall and I went, oh, Spider-Man, there you go.
Right.
And then that was it. And he just went, oh, I'll work with that, whatever, who cares? Because I mean, and then back in the day when he thought he'd be a serious writer,
Mm-hmm.
he took this comic book job thinking it wasn't very serious. He wouldn't even use his real name, so he took his Stan Lee, because he figured I'm gonna save my name for when I do serious work, And then oh shit, 50 years have passed. I'm still doing this. But yeah, it just comes out of him naturally, and he just came at it from such a way. And I don't think it was ever a conscious choice to be as different as from DC as he possibly could, but like all of his characters were like real people you could relate to. They weren't, I always DC's all like, oh, they're from space. There you go. That's their origin. They're from space. Like they have real problems, and they don't, like the Thing. He wanted to have a character where they don't want to do this. Maybe they don't want to be a giant orange rock. I mean, what does his penis look like? Well, that's gonna be terrible. So,
have to ask Alicia Masters.
Yeah, she wouldn't know either.
True.
She can read it with her hand.
She could, yeah. It's like Braille. Actually, that would be better for her, I think. She'd feel more.
Oh man.
True. Oh man.
Somebody I was thinking.
What if the bumps in it line just perfectly to where it says something when she's
Ben Grimm's penis?
I think it tells a story.
What if he could change it, like alter it based on what he was thinking? So she's reading it, it's like, I love you. Or
I don't think he would get that lucky.
No, probably not. One person I was thinking of though when you were talking about Stan Lee was one of my nerd heroes, and this is the last one I'll promise. It's damn it, now I lost it.
Edit.
No, here it is. Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman, creator of Toxic Avenger.
I can get behind that.
Oh.
Yeah, any of those crazy. Just
he was
independent.
Trauma.
Exactly.
Well, he is trauma.
Exactly. And that's just a guy who not only taught me, like, you know, it's okay to do like strange things and like be different, and you can still be entertaining that way, but also like it's okay for you yourself to be weird. Like that was kind of, especially growing up, like in the same way that, you know, Spider-Man being a nerd as Peter Parker or whatever was like, okay, even I could be a hero, like as a kid with huge glasses and skinny little whatever. Lloyd Kaufman taught me, like, it's cool to be weird, like, because even then you can be, you know, there's an audience for it no matter what. Like whether you're weird, whether you're, you know, just strange, whether you're different, it's fine, and you can still do some cool shit. So Lloyd Kaufman, I definitely want to put him out there. I saw that movie Toxic Avenger probably at way too young of an age because I was coming off of Toxic Crusaders, the cartoon.
Yeah,
so
the
I was
cartoon.
thinking the movie was going to be the same, but instead
Not
that
quite.
was probably the first time I saw breast on the screen, was watching that movie as a kid.
So
Nice.
Adam, he started really young.
Thanks, Lloyd Kaufman.
You know, and what I like about Lloyd Kaufman is he's like old school Hollywood. Like the comedy does. He'd be like, when you ever see interviews of him, he's like all one liners, like, "Hey, I said a funny thing," and he's almost like a weird alternate version of Mel Brooks, who's like really weird and dirty, like, even more than because Mel Brooks is, you know, he has a line that he won't cross, and Lloyd's just like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, like some of his intros before the movies are crazy. And also like a lot of great people, well, I don't know about a lot, but some great people came out of the Troma. Like James Gunn was working for Troma before Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's awesome.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker did stuff for him too.
Oh yeah, nice. So see, he's affected many lives.
James Gunn cut his teeth with Troma stuff, and that's actually kind of why he couldn't get real work for a while.
Right.
You know, that's such a different type of filmmaking, you know. So
I like it. Anyone have any other ones? I think we got through quite a few. Adam, do you have any?
I actually have
other-
another one. And this is more recent. Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, there we go. I like
That
it.
man is such a nerd. Such a giant fucking nerd. And look at him.
Yeah.
And he's now going to be host of the Late Show. And he's like the smartest guy when it comes to like Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's universe.
Yeah.
And all other things. Like he can handle his own with anybody on almost any nerd topic. And he's like the one of the funniest guys on the planet.
yeah,
It's just amazing how much just nerd cred, and the fact that you can be nerdy and funny, and most of the population will love you for it. So
Yeah.
He has his own ice cream. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
He made
god.
it.
well, so does Jimmy Fallon. So
Well, yeah. But Steven had his first,
yes,
Yeah.
that's
and
true.
his is more delicious.
So
Mhm.
Adam, have you gotten to meet Steven like many times or anything like that?
I met him when I was working at the Daily Show, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Briefly, not a whole lot, but he was really, really nice. He was like a super nice guy.
He seems like it.
Yeah, I know my friend Kevin, who did warm up for the Colbert Report, has met him multiple times, and he's just like the nicest guy. They put Kevin in the credits on the last show,
Oh wow.
which they usually don't put warm up comics in the credits. So that was like a
That's
very
awesome.
nice gesture. Yeah, he took everybody, by the way. The whole staff at the Colbert Report is like, "Do you want to come work at the Late Show?" Everyone's welcome, and I think most of the crew went over with him.
That's
that's
So-
awesome.
Mhm.
He's just the nicest guy on the planet. I know he right now has like this giant bushy white Gandalf beard.
Yes.
He's not supposed to do anything for like 6-8 months before the show comes out in the fall. So he's just chilling, big Gandalf beard.
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
He was in which of the 3 Hobbit movies did he make? an
He
appearance
was
in?
in the second one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember watching that because I knew he was in it for just like it was only like a small split second or something.
Yeah.
So I was watching for it and I saw him. I was like, Stephen Colbert. Awesome. And then I was like, I'm getting bored. And I changed it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, those.
I still.
The second one was okay.
And
First one was.
It's kind of a shameful thing for me, but Adam told his masturbation story, so I can tell this one. I've
He
still
masturbates to Stephen Colbert.
You're no, I was gonna say you sexually attracted to hobbits.
no. Even more shameful than that. I've never seen the Lord of the Rings movies.
What?
Or Hobbit
You're gonna
movies.
say-
Nope.
So that was the
like-
episode, guys.
I was hoping you're gonna.
back.
Yeah, we're gonna have Adam. Fuck Joe.
Yeah, I'm kicked off. I'm removed.
Oh,
That's
shit.
okay. I mean, my penis is named Bilbo, so.
I can understand not seeing the Hobbit films, but
Oh gosh.
not Lord of the Rings, dude.
I know.
I mean, you
Oh my
need to
gosh.
watch and as punishment, you need to watch the extended editions.
I've
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah, that's the only way to watch it anyway.
My roommate
Yeah.
has them, but it's just like, when do I have a day to watch movies?
Here's the thing, Joe. If you ever come up here, I said you could stay at my house. Yeah, now you can't.
Oh, damn.
And seriously, that's probably not even my rule. That'd be my wife. Like, okay, so when I met my wife,
Kid.
I thought she was way out of my league. Like we worked in the same place. I'd see her walk by, and I'd be like, "Shit, I should talk to her," but that's
Then you
probably a
found
bad
out she
idea.
had Low standards.
Right. But that was after she would walk by and she had a Lord of the Rings sweater. And the only reason I noticed that she had a Lord of the Rings sweater because on her back, right above her butt, was that when it said Lord of the Rings.
I was
So I was already in that area anyway.
Something.
I was looking at her butt and I was like, hey, that's a nice butt. Whoa, Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, I have an in. I can actually talk to her and not worry about her.
Wait, back up. So she's got a tramp stamp.
No, it's
Lord of the Rings?
no, it's not a tattoo. It was on her
Bilbo
sweater.
on-
Oh,
Pay attention.
no, I was thinking the
that's not-
same thing.
I said it was on her sweater. Jesus.
It's got the secret word for Moria on the I know how to pronounce that!
And they call it a mine.
Please let me at the back door of Moria, please.
Speak friend and you can enter. See, you're missing out, Joe. You don't get.
I
any
know.
Of these
I don't get
jokes.
the jokes, but I can
Look out
I
for
can at
Power
least
Rock.
laugh because everybody else is laughing. And smile and nod.
Oh god. No.
That's probably a good note to end on.
we're
Real,
gonna-
you know what, Joe? Adam, you said we're talking about nerd heroes, and if you like Doctor Who,
I do.
you have one that's more your hero than one of the other iterations. So, who is your favorite Doctor?
10. Duh.
See,
Tenant.
okay.
Every day of the week. Forever
All
and
right.
ever.
See, for me, and everyone says that if you watch the new ones, basically.
the girls.
But so it was like, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. So for me, it was like, okay, so it was Tenet, and then Matt Smith. The more episodes I saw, and then it was like Matt Smith was bumping, like maybe, and then it just went just above. I feel like Matt Smith just above Tenet. So now Adam's gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be
This is over.
on the show anymore.
No. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just there was a gravitas that Tennant had that Smith didn't, but he was really good for his own attributes, his enthusiasm, his quirkiness, because Tennant wasn't really quirky.
He wasn't goofy. No.
Yeah, he wasn't goofy. He was fun and enthusiastic and having a great time running around being the Doctor. I mean, being that was kind of his arc. Like, I love being me. I do not want to die. I am amazing.
Yeah.
I should not die, which of course made everything worse because like, okay,
The slow, agonizing like him to.
God.
It's like, oh, he's leaving. I don't want to.
The last 15 minutes of End of Time was just, oh God, what the hell?
I don't want to go, and it's like,
Oh, God.
Is everyone gonna hate me that I like 9?
No,
you know what? He doesn't get enough. He doesn't get
love
enough.
him.
Oh,
He's
Christopher
such a
Eccleston does not get enough love. He really,
I love it.
yeah. Christopher Eccleston was
no,
amazing.
but yeah, Eccleston did a great job. Matt Smith did an amazing job, and was great in his own right. And Capaldi, I'm sure, will do fine eventually if they give him something to do properly and not be a giant douchebag.
You get these flashes of awesome, and then it's like,
Right?
why
Then
are
it's
you
gone.
fighting Robin Hood with a spoon? I don't understand why this scene is even existing.
What do you guys think of having like a black doctor like Idris Elba
Does it-
or
it
somebody
doesn't-
like that?
Idris Elba is amazing.
I think he'd be
and it
super
doesn't
cool.
matter. I don't care if he's black. I don't care if it's a woman. If it's the right actor for what they're writing, I'm okay with it.
A lot of people are like super against because they're like the doctor's always been like white British guy. It's got to
cares?
stay white British guy, and I'm like,
Well,
no, a woman doctor or anyone, as long as they're believable and as long as they have that charm that the doctor always has, like. I would love to see Idris Elba as the doctor. I think that would be crazy.
He's not a human. He doesn't have to be anything. Like
Much like American presidents, we will have
Yeah.
a black male doctor before we have a female doctor.
Probably.
Again, just like Community, because I feel like Dan Harmon is prophetic. I got a feeling that if they have a female doctor, and of course they will at some point,
Yeah.
but it probably will be everyone's least liked doctor. Granted, it is how they write them. And now we have seen in the modern era how they can write doctors really well and really poorly.
Yeah.
If they so choose. Because Capaldi is an amazing actor and would kill at the role if they gave him good stories to be in. But they have decided to, you know what? We should make the doctor not lovable for reasons that nobody wants. And I caught up with on Netflix a couple years ago. So I was watching real time, I guess the last 2 Smith seasons. And every time it would come out, like watching it immediately the next day, I streamed it somewhere. Like, I gotta watch it immediately. Oh my God. And then I watched, the first episode with Capaldi, like, I gotta watch it immediately. And I watched it and I was like, okay.
yeah, what was that?
What was
And then you put your tub of Vaseline away. You're just like,
Yeah.
I don't need this anymore.
I don't need this anymore. Yeah, I stopped, like, if for whatever that first episode completely, like, just lost all of the momentum for me and all of the need to watch it immediately because it's like, oh God, they don't care anymore. Oh God, what happened? I truly loved this show. I still love it. But it wasn't like, oh, I need to see it all the time and do all the things. And just like, oh, yeah, I love it. But, yeah, okay, fall? Sure. It'll come around eventually, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's a letdown. It's a giant letdown, especially since the show has become a worldwide phenomenon, thanks to America.
Yep.
Welcome, BBC. And because Tennant and then Smith, or Tennant, brought it up, and then Smith told him, oh my God, and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing, and then Capaldi and just dropped it. And it's not Capaldi's fault; it's Moffat's fault. That the momentum is completely gone, and the show, this lovable show that the whole planet was, rallying around, at least a planet full of nerds, like, yeah, it's amazing. And now it's just like, all of us, anyone who's a Whovian, like, looks at each other and be like, season 8, right? They're like.
Yeah, it exists. It's there.
It exists, and that's all I have to say.
So hopefully they learned their lesson. The Christmas special sucked balls. Giant Christmas balls. It was horrible. It made no sense.
It's just it was just Moffat writing in circles again.
It's
It's like,
They're head crabs, but with dreams, and only 6 people are affected on the planet, and somehow one got into the TARDIS.
yeah.
We got to end this on a better note than such a downer, guys.
Well,
I
let's
feel
get
so
into
depressed.
our. We'll announce the people for the Nerdocalypse, and Jim, how about you explain what the Nerdocalypse is while I pull it up?
Sure. Just like we do our nerd roulette, this time it's going to be 2 random, either fictional or real, kind of nerd characters. They're going to be picked at random, and we're going to talk about who would win in a fight to the death.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
So that'll be part B. So it'll be a week after everyone sees this one.
So Adam's going to hang out with us for a week.
We're all gonna wear the same
Just
clothes.
It's fine. Yeah.
So I can never, like, every time I pick these, I can never do it with a straight face because they're just so ridiculous. All right, so this one we have The Punisher versus God damn it, versus Arnold Schwarzenegger as Victor Freeze.
Oh my god.
So that'll be the battle. So
You bring the ice, I'll bring the ice, man.
there's gonna be a lot of really fun one-liners, I think, in this next one. So that'll be part B, and yeah, make sure you listen to that. And Adam Lash will be with us for that as well. Good stuff. Anyone have anything to say before we end this one?
You should probably plug your stuff, Adam.
I should. Please go back and watch Gigahoes Season 1 on YouTube. YouTube.com/Gigahoes. Let me just spell it for you just in case. Gigahoes. You can also listen to my podcast, which I think we're releasing 2 episodes a week right now, which is pretty cool. It's the Movie Preview Review podcast. You just tap that into iTunes. It'll pop right up. It's really funny. I'll have some other things coming up on my YouTube channel in the near future. If you liked my sketches, especially the one about Rainbow Bright.
Maybe more with your girlfriend in it. I'll watch those.
We are planning on. I wouldn't say thank you, sir. I'll take that as a compliment, and I thank you for sexually objectifying her. No, honestly, she knows this. I love when guys are like, "Oh my god, I would so do things with her." I'm like, "Oh, really? What would you do? Really?"
You're writing it down.
I actually
okay,
get to do that.
I'll try that. I already did that.
Like that was my Tuesday. So.
But yeah, so go that. I have funny sketches on my YouTube channel, which is Adam Lash Comedy. And if you liked the Rainbow Party sketch, which spoiler alert, Rainbow Bright is in, we do actually have. It was so fun filming her as Rainbow Bright, and she did it really well that we came up with an idea for. I wouldn't say it's a series. It's more like just like a series of little funny, quick sketches that we will be doing with her. That we'll be filming in bunches and then editing together and like dumping off like 6 or 8 at a time. Very quick, very easy, funny stuff. But we'll be doing that throughout the year. So that's coming up soon. We're filming, I think, in April, the first batch. So that'll be fun. But we said other cool stuff coming up. And I also have a blog that is almost done. It's called Advice I'll Never Give My Future Son. You just type that into Google. It'll pop right up. It's on Tumblr. It's basically the talk to my future son, but I died, so I'm not around. So I typed everything out of all my advice on puberty, sex, and relationships for him. So it's an awkward conversation between a father and his future son, which is really funny. And right now we're in the sex section, so
he's gonna die.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Awesome stuff. So guys, go check that out, and you can check us out on iTunes, YouTube. We're on every social media. If you just type in Nerds on Tap podcast, ignore the random Spanish one on YouTube. We're not the Spanish one.
No.
We are the non-Spanish one, except for Joseph.
Even though I'm half, it doesn't mean I'm connected in any way.
Is he Hispanic or is he Chinese? I can't tell.
Wow.
Well,
We're
this is my last episode, guys.
I'm done with these honkies.
All right, guys. We will see you for part B. I am Chris.
I'm Jim.
I'm Joseph.
I'm
And
Adam.
That's Adam. That's Adam. All right. Cheers, nerds. Peace out.
Cheers.
This was Nerds on Tap. If you like what you saw or heard, make sure you follow us on that Twitter thing that all the kids are talking about, at nerds_on_tap. And don't actually write the word underscore, that's not how Twitter works. And of course, we are on that Facebook thing, facebook.com/nerdsontap podcast. Thanks for listening. Nerds on Tap is part of the BS Excluded Network and the Slurred Nerd blog on Tumblr.